Hello, everyone. My name is John Waterhouse. I'm the field leader of Centers for Spiritual Living, and co-minister of Center for Spiritual Living Asheville here in North Carolina. And I'm coming to you from my office in Asheville, and I'm delighted that you've taken the time to join me for this moment of meditation. Before we begin, I want to kind of create a context. Our topic, our theme for this experience is transformation and evolution. And what I want to do is use something that's very familiar to nearly all of us, and that would be this right here, which is the teaching symbol of our Science of Mind teaching. And so I want to explain it very quickly. I know that most of you know this very well, but there may be a little nuance here or there that's going to help us do this meditation today. So let me explain that we start with this circle. And the idea of the symbol is that the circle represents the nature of God. The ancient Greek philosopher Empedocles said that God is a circle whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere. So this symbol of the circle is that infinite presence of the divine. And it's divided into three parts. You've got this top part, which is the invisible presence of the divine. It's that place or that idea that originates all thought. It's from that place that every thought that we have, that the divine has, originates. And it moves into this second section across here, which is called subjective mind or spiritual law. And that is the creative force, the medium, which takes that thought and turns it into physical form. So you've got this top part, which is cause, this bottom part, which is effect, and between it is the law. So to understand that and to use it, we have this thing that looks like a V, but it's not a V. What it is two lines that come together. And the way that works is this line here, descending from the top of the circle into the bottom area here, is that movement, that descent of spirit into physical form. And this next part, starting at the bottom, going back up, is spirit's observation of the experience of life from that physical place. Now, to talk about transformation and evolution, we look at one more thing on here, and that's this part of that line that comes back up and how it has a bend to it. And that's the place where transformation occurs. That's the place where things change, because we have an idea, and we believe it, and we think it, and we say it, and it shows up in physical form. But then we observe it. And as we observe it, we're at choice as to whether we will continue to believe that or we will believe something greater. So the bend here is actually that moment where we get to choose. It's that place where life can change for us. And that's what I want to use today for us to experience the wholeness of spirit and this idea of transforming our lives. Life can be very challenging at times. And that's because we have believed things and we find things in our physical world that we recreate by believing that that thing that we experience is so. But what if we didn't? What if we were absolutely aware that we were at choice to choose anything as our experience? And we could actually set down that physical idea and move completely into something greater. Well, that's what that little bend at the end of that line means. So I want to invite you to join me in an exploration of this idea of having a choice at every moment in time. So if you will, join me by closing your eyes, by relaxing your body, and by simply being wherever you are in a safe, clear state of mind. And recognize with me that everything that has happened to this point in your life and my life came from thought. It came from ideas. It came from beliefs. And much of what we have seen created over and over again has simply been thought over and over again, has been accepted as the way things are. And most of us experience that as our daily lives, things happening the way they've always happened, again and again and again. But what if, rather than simply accepting everything as being the way it is, we were to actually step away from that physical experience of life, to recognize ourselves wholly and completely in that invisible form, which is the truest, highest expression of the divine, with an idea that something could look different, that something that may have occurred again and again and again could change. What if from that place of the absolute, even with our finite thinking, we could reach farther into a knowing of spirit that says anything is possible? What if from that place we opened up to the possibilities and then chose something greater than we have known before, something greater than we have seen before or felt before? If we can do that, create a new thought, a fresh thought, a more powerful and more bold thought about how our lives can be, from that place, we impress upon the law of spirit. And that thing that we have thought that is greater than before occurs in our lives. I am not saying this is easy. It's much easier to accept what has been as what will be. But there's something elegant and powerful and creative to move beyond what we have known into something greater. We all have those moments where we feel stepped upon, pushed aside, not appreciated. And when we fall into that abyss, things seem to go downward in a spiral. But at any moment, we can change that direction. We can adjust our thinking into something greater and then be vigilant in holding and knowing that to be the truth. And when we do, something magical happens, something wonderful happens, and we are blessed. And I invite us to make that the norm, to make that the experience, to make that our lives. And when we do, things change. Life changes. The fullness and richness of life shows up because we have thought that something could be better. We have thought that something could be different in a way that serves us and those around us. We have thought. And the law has taken our thought and created that opening in our lives. This is the principle that we live by in the science of mind. This is the life calling to not be shackled by what we see in physical form, but to recognize that greater presence and power that dwells within us and turn that into the magnificent life we have come to live. What a joy. What a blessing. What a powerful way to be in the world. So I invite you to clear your mind of whatever was and to open your mind to what can be and to move that can be into the reality of what is. Dr. Holmes tells us in his teaching that what we claim in mind and what is created in our lives is the same thing. It's the same thing. So let's move from that not knowing or thinking that it is the way it has to be into something that changes us. And once it changes, it's changed forever. And we move forward and we move up, and our consciousness is expanded, and life gets better and better and better. And recognizing that this is the true expression of God on earth, we claim it for ourselves. We let it be all that it can be, and we celebrate it every single moment of every single day. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, life, for this extraordinary journey. We are so blessed, and we let it be. And so it is. And when you're ready, open your eyes and let that experience fill you up, always and forever. Blessings from North Carolina. All the best to you. With love and grace and gratitude, we let it be. Thank you all.